In the previous video, we finished the story of Mutukan. If you have not yet watched it, you are welcome to click the link and enjoy it. Next, we are going to talk about the story of Mutukan. The exciting content is about to unfold. Please stay tuned as the gentle sunset falls on the vast Mongolian grassland. The expansive land is filled with the sounds of children's laughter and play. The blood of passion and courage flows in these children, who are the grandsons of Genghis Khan. Yet even so, they can't help but feel fear when a pack of wolves appear, and their helpless expressions are revealed. However, Mutukan is not among these children. Although he is also a grandson of Genghis Khan, he is different. While his companions are playing, he stands alone in the distance, his large bow tightly gripped in his hands, his eyes firmly staring into the distance. Suddenly, a pack of wolves breaks into their view. His brothers are frightened pale, but Mutukan remains unmoved. He slowly draws his bow and arrow. His gaze is sharp as an eagle. He shoots arrow after arrow, each piercing through a wolf, until all the wolves have fallen. This thrilling hunt surprises everyone, and Mutukan's brave act draws the attention of Genghis Khan. He gazes at his grandson, his eyes filled with unparalleled pride and anticipation. In the sun-drenched market of Khwarazm in 1218, a group of innocent Mongolian traders was suddenly brutally attacked. This tragedy aroused the wrath of the Mongol Empire. The following year, Genghis Khan swung his sword, which was already stained with the blood of enemies, declaring war on Khwarazm. This declaration was like thunder, shocking the entire Central Asia. In this unprecedented war, Mutukan stepped onto the battlefield. His face was etched with an indomitable will and fearless courage. The troops he commanded were like a storm, ruthlessly ravaging the land of Khwarazm, breaking the enemy's army again and again. Each victory brought new hope to his motherland, and his bravery won the favor of Genghis Khan each time he returned from the battlefield. Covered with scars, but also with the glory of victory, he could see Genghis Khan's admiring eyes. In Genghis Khan's eyes, Mutukan was not just his grandson, but the future of Mongolia. He saw the blood of the brave flowing in Mutukan, and his calm yet fierce eyes, each battle, each victory, further convinced Genghis Khan that his grandson would be the future of the Mongol Empire. In the autumn of 1221, golden leaves danced to the rhythm of the wind, scattering along the path of the advancing Mongol army. This was their first expedition to the west. They were heading south towards the distant Ghazni. A place known for its magnificent city and strong army, was to be a test for them. The Mongol army marched through the wind and sand, their gazes resolute, their faces smeared with dust. No one cared about their worn clothing due to the sand, nor about the hardship of marching. They only had one goal in mind, and that was Ghazni. The walls of Ghazni stood in front of them, an insurmountable obstacle. At the top of the walls, Ghazni's defenders held their weapons, their eyes sharp as eagles. They were guarding their homeland, waiting for the enemy to arrive. The Mongol army came to the city gate, their eyes resolute, staring hard at the city walls. No one was afraid, no one retreated. They were just waiting for that command. Suddenly, a drumbeat sounded like a thunderclap, shaking everyone's heart. The Mongol army straightened up and surged towards the city walls. At this moment, the siege began. The flames of battle lit up the night sky. Blood and sweat intermingled, smeared on the face of every warrior. The attack of the Mongol army was like a raging flood. They gradually broke Ghazni's defenses with their unyielding will, and wave after wave of assault. At the last moment of the night, the seemingly indestructible city walls were finally breached amidst the smoke. The cheers of the Mongol army surged like a tide, piercing the silence of the night. They had succeeded. They had conquered Ghazni. It was their victory and their glory. This night, they would gaze upon their new journey with fearless eyes. In the same year, Jalal ad-Din Mingbanu, the new king of Khwarezmia, gathered 80,000 troops in the fortress of Gurjistan, planning a major counterattack. He hoped this gamble would repel the Mongol army and restore the glory of Khwarezmia. However, Genghis Khan did not give him that chance. The great Khan sent Jib, leading 30,000 cavalry, to the mountains of Kabul to threaten Jalal ad-Din's flank. and at the same time cover the main force of the Mongol army moving south. Jebe, a trusted general of Genghis Khan, undoubtedly saw this mission as a challenge, but he accepted it. Meanwhile, in the main force of the Mongol army, Chagatai, Chagatai, and Tului, these three excellent generals led their soldiers, following Jebe's troops south. Their winding route went through the Great Plains, across the desert, and the ultimate target was Kyrgyzstan, in the glow of long spears and swords. Genghis Khan's army raised a cloud of dust on the prairie, marching southward. Their steps were resolute, their gaze firm, their swords sharp, and their banners high. They were an unstoppable force, advancing toward victory. Meanwhile, in the fortress of Genghis, Zaranj waited for his fate. Unaware that the Mongol army had drawn so close, he could only grip his sword tightly, hoping that his troops could withstand the onslaught. However, he didn't know that he was facing an unwinnable battle. They moved too quickly, their swords sharp, their gaze determined. Upon reaching the gate of Kutliu's fortress, they faced a solid city wall and those iron-hearted city defenders. The Mongols' assault was like a storm. Each wave of attack made the city walls tremble. Each surprise attack brought a choice of life and death, but the city held out for a month, until the last defender fell and the city gate was broken. After razing and sacking the city, the ruthless and cold Mongols took everything that could be taken and continued to march forward. Crossing the Hindu Kush mountains, they arrived near the fortress of Bamiyan. The walls of the Bamiyan fortress were taller, thicker, and more robust than those they had previously encountered. The inhabitants of the city refused to surrender, gripping their weapons and defending their homes. The Mongol army used siege weapons to attack, attempting to break through this robust line of defense. The battle between the two sides was fierce, with arrows falling like rain and artillery roaring like dragons. In this bloody battle, Chagatai's son, Mutukan, who was once heavily entrusted by Genghis Khan, was shot by an arrow. His body fell as if pierced by a sword. His eyes were still fixed on the fortress of Bamiyan, as if to tell of his unfinished mission and endless regret. His death dealt a heavy blow to the Mongol army. But they did not stop, they just moved on, for their goal. For the young man who once gave them hope, Mutukan, a young hero. His riding and archery skills were unmatched, and his bravery and valor had already won the favor and love of Genghis Khan. When he fell, Genghis Khan's heart was like being struck by a heavy hammer. The pain was indescribable. Genghis Khan's grief turned into a powerful military force. He ordered the army to attack day and night, knocking down the gates of the Bamiyan fortress at all costs, above and below the city. Bodies were piled up like mountains. The Mongols used the bodies as steps. Bravely rushing into the city, the brutality of the battle was beyond words. After the conquest of the city, Genghis Khan ordered no mercy for man or beast. They exterminated all the people in the city, burned all the resources, and even the city gates and walls were razed to the ground. This city disappeared from the map, leaving only the traces of history. Then Genghis Khan named this devastated land Mayboli, meaning the evil city. This name mourns Mutukan and also serves as a warning to enemies. It is an oath mixed with blood and tears, warning all enemies that the Mongols' revenge will be brutal and ruthless. Mutukan, a young hero, won the deep love of Genghis Khan with his valiant spirit and exceptional skills. Though his life was short, it shone brightly, like a meteor streaking across the sky, leaving an indelible trail. In our next video, we will share the story of Gayak, the eldest son of Chagatai. Please look forward to the content of the next episode. If you like this story, please help us by subscribing and sharing. Thank you.